Hello, my name is Evelyn Mangandi and I'm from Salon Success in Upland, California. I'm one of the teachers. I'm in charge of core class and stable classes also. So today we are going to be talking and doing a demonstration of a stable procedure. So just as a reminder, for cosmetologists, remember that the doll head has to be 6 inches. Don't pre-cut it, don't pre-section it. So 6 inches will be right where the neckline is, okay? Not the neckline, but where the neck starts from your doll head. You can always ask your instructor if they can give you a guide, or you can do it. Make sure you don't put your name, no marks, no makeup, nothing. The doll head has to be just cut one length. And you have to be there by 6 o'clock in the morning, because the lady that is gonna give you the kit, she's gonna go over the kit and what comes in it, just in case you have any questions. Make sure that you wear black. I always suggest the students wear black, and girls, if the bangs, it's a motive for me to keep going like this and forget to sanitize my hands, I always suggest them put your hair back, okay? So put it in a ponytail, and if you wear glasses, just deal with it. But every time you touch your glasses, it's not that you cannot touch them. What you have to do is, if I fix them, I have to sanitize my hands. If you want to come out with your hair like this, and every time you fix your hair, you have to sanitize the hands, because the examiner believes that the hands belong only to the student, okay? If you live far, I always suggest, if you want to stay in a little motel, so that way you avoid traffic, but you have to be there by 6 in the morning. By the time the examiner takes you into the room, it's between around 7 o'clock, 7:15, that's when you start with the first procedure, okay? Once you're done with the practical, you're gonna go with the written, 110 questions. And once you finish, more likely you'll be done with both of them, practical and written, around, then you have to come back at 1:45, and that's when they will give you the results, if you pass, if you didn't pass. If you didn't pass one of them, you only have to pay $75, and then you have to reapply again and pay, of course, and just wait for your appointment. Also, no watches at all. It doesn't matter how cheap or expensive they are. No cell phone. Don't even put it in here. Don't even play it like, oh, I'm gonna completely turn it off. Just leave it in the car, or stable in the building. They have lockers. Just bring your own little lock, and you can put your personal items in there, lock it, but they're not responsible if something goes missing. So my idea is just leave it in the car, or whoever is gonna give you a ride, okay? Because they don't allow cell phones at all, or watches, or cameras, weapons, nothing like that. Don't forget your ID, don't forget your proof of training. Without the proof of training, you cannot go and take your stable, and then you gotta pay again, okay? Well, I wish you good luck, and I hope this video will help you pass your stable. Good luck. And we're gonna start with setup and client protection as the introduction. So the first thing we're gonna do is, you open the kit, and you're gonna see your trash bag, and you're gonna place it right here. And then right away, you're gonna open the kit, and you're gonna get your disinfectant, and we're gonna spray disinfectant, and we are gonna get a paper towel. Throw it away. I'm gonna place my disinfectant. I'm gonna get my hand sanitizer, and I'm gonna sanitize my hands by the trash. Now I get my container, and I'm gonna start displaying everything that I need for my basic SMA. My water bottle, my first aid kit, and this is gonna be my SMA. I have my soil linen bag. It's a drawstring bag, so this goes on the floor on top of your kit. And I have my items to be disinfected container. Everything is labeled. You don't necessarily have to place it on the left. I'm a lefty, that's why I put it on the left. You're a righty, you're gonna place it on the right. So the instruction says that they're gonna give you 15 minutes to set up. So once you start setting up, the instructions is gonna tell you you can plug in your curling iron in at this time. So because I have to do my very first SMA, I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and now I'm gonna open. And the reason I put it in a bag is because you don't know if it's gonna come in a container. If it comes in a container, that means you gotta put the container back. If it comes in a bag, that means you gotta place the bag in the trash. As I'm setting up everything, I'm gonna put my clips. And I always put an extra one so I don't waste time. I have my Sanex, my combs, and the other Sanex. So this bag is gonna go in the trash. And because I put my hand inside, I gotta sanitize my hand. So the first thing I'm gonna do is plug in the curling iron. So when you plug in the curling iron, you just turn it on, you don't touch the metal. I always say what's gonna let you pass is you follow the lesson objectives. The lesson objective says, 1, you follow safety and infection control procedures. 2, items to be disinfected, soil, linens, and trash are disposed of in a proper manner. And at the end, maintain your work area in a clean, neat, and safe manner throughout all the procedures that you're gonna be performing. So now I need to place the items for hair cutting. I'm gonna have an extra towel. And I'm gonna be placing my combs. I always put extra combs just in case I drop the shears, and my razor. The bag goes in the trash. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. And also on the instructions it says prepare your client for services. So what does it mean? I'm gonna get my tripod and I'm gonna assemble the tripod. Everything that you're doing is within the 15 minutes, and they will let you know when you have 8 minutes left. Because I touched the tripod, I have to sanitize my hands, and now I'm gonna get my doll head, which by the way has to be 6 inches long. The instruction says I have to prepare my client for services, meaning I have to drape her only. They don't give you a Sanex at Stayboard, they give you more like a towel material. So to make it thicker around the neck, so that way the cape won't fall. So at this point, more likely she said 8 minutes remaining. So I gotta remove the clip. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. And before I step back, I gotta make sure that my SMA looks nice and neat. Sanitize my hands, I always check the floor, and I step back. Okay, so now the examiner is gonna say, you're gonna have 10 minutes to perform thermal curling. A complete curl must be formed from base to ends. Am I gonna place 2 curls on top of the head and 2 on one side of the head? And you're gonna have 10 minutes. She'll remind you when you have 5 minutes remaining. At this point, when she says step back, you may continue. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. That's the first thing I always do. And I'm gonna create 2 curls on top of the head. So the first thing I should do, from the middle of the ear, the arch, I'm gonna create like a horseshoe parting. You don't have to section the doll head. I like it. I prefer it because it makes me more neater. And then the rest of the hair, I'm just gonna clip it back. Like I said, you don't have to do this. I personally like it because it makes me manage the hair better. So I'm gonna divide this into 2. And I'm gonna do 1/2. Don't throw the hair on the face. I'm gonna place the comb and I'm gonna test the temperature. Hold it for like 1-2 seconds. Now this goes in the trash. I didn't touch the trash bag, so I don't have to sanitize my hands. So the instruction says I have to create a curve from base to end. This is getting close to the base without touching the base. If I want it on base, I'm gonna over direct forward 45 degrees. I'm gonna place the comb underneath for protection. This is basically, you cannot forget the comb underneath because otherwise you will be burning the scalp. It doesn't matter if the curl falls. All it matters is that you're following safety and infection control procedures. Now I'm ready to let it go, and I'm gonna use the comb, and you click, and there is my first curl. I'm gonna create the second one, again from base to end. And remember, for this procedure you only have 10 minutes. So I'm gonna place the comb and I'm gonna hold it. Now time to let it go. Now I'm gonna place 2 curls on the side. And again, I have to start from base to end without touching the base. When we say the base, we're talking about the scalp. Now I can place the comb. Now I'm gonna let it go. Never use the finger, you can use the comb. And now I'm gonna place the last one. One more time from base to end. And if I don't want the curl to fall, all I gotta do is place them on base over directing 45 degrees forward. Always hold the end of the hair, the strand. So at this point, more likely she said 5 minutes already. You cannot leave fish hooks or marks on the hair because she will deduct points. But the major point right here is to place the comb underneath the curling iron. So now I'm ready to let it go. As I finished, I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna place the comb on my SMA. I'm gonna unplug the curling iron. As you unplug the curling iron, make sure you don't leave the cord hanging. Roll it, and you're gonna place it next to your SMA because it's still hot. For safety reasons, we cannot leave the cord hanging. Because I touched the cord, I have to sanitize my hands. And now I can check my curls, how did they look? And I created the 4 curls, as you can see, 2 on top, 1 on the side. I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna step back. Okay, so now comes the next section, which is hair cutting. For hair cutting, they're gonna give you 30 minutes. I usually try to tell the students not to think that they have 30 minutes, but 20 minutes. Why? Because you have to have time to check the haircut. It's not like you're gonna do the haircut and it's done. No, you have to make time to check the haircut. So at this point, she's gonna read the instructions and she's gonna say you have 30 minutes to perform hair cutting using razor and shears. At the end, she's gonna say step back to indicate you have finished. She will remind you when you have 15 minutes before time expires. As soon as she says you may begin, the first thing we do is sanitize my hands. And what I'm gonna do, remove the clip, and you're gonna see that they're gonna give you a towel. The reason for the towel is that you're gonna place the towel underneath and you're gonna wet the hair. And when you wet the hair, you have to do it pretty fast because you don't wanna waste time. You don't wanna be detangling the hair because there is no point. They may be walking around and see if you're dropping water on the floor. And for safety reasons, if you see water on the floor, you have to wipe it off. Because at the end, everything is about safety. Just make sure the hair is completely wet, because once you put the towel, the dirty towel in the bag, in the soil linen bag, you cannot get it back from there. I think we all know that already. And if you notice also, I'm pulling the hair all the way back because I don't want to wet the face. Oops. Let me fix the tripod. I can place my towel right here if I want to. It's a little loose. There. So I'm gonna sanitize my hands because I touched the tripod, and I'm gonna continue with what I was doing. So I'm gonna place my water bottle in there. Since I'm not gonna be using the towel, I'm gonna go underneath. Remember, this is on top of your kit. You're gonna place the dirty towel. You have to close your drawstring bag, which is the soil linen bag, and you're gonna put it on top of your kit. Because I touched that, what am I gonna do? Sanitize my hands. So as soon as I sanitize my hands, I'm gonna divide my hair into 4 sections, or the T section as we know it. So when I do this, try not to put your hand on the face. As I'm sectioning my hair, I'm also noticing the floor that I didn't drop any water. Also, they're going to be checking that my subsections and my partings are nice and neat and clean. So I have my T section, 4 quadrants. I'm gonna try to do it like this so you guys can see better. So when you go to stable, you're gonna get a razor like this. I prefer this one, so I'm gonna use that one. And she has to be looking down. And they expect me to use the razor, creating a 0 degree. Also, if you notice, I didn't really spend too much time detangling the hair because I don't want to waste time. And here I go. So I'm gonna grab the razor and I'm gonna cut a 0 degree. I'm gonna switch combs. And you cut no less than an inch. So this is going to be my 0, and I cut, and I cut, and I cut. So I have to make sure I close it. So the first one was a 0 degree. My second subsection, almost at the top of the nape area. I always try to pull it up so I can see my partings. And I always tell my students, try not to waste too much time combing the hair over and over because you're just wasting time. So normally comb it 1, 2 and cut. Let's say in this case I comb it 1, 2 and now I'm gonna do 45 degree. You're gonna see your guide and you cut. My second one, I see my guide and I cut. My third one, I see my guide and I cut. Right away, I close it. And now I go with my last time using my razor up to the nape area. Remember, your subsections have to be consistent. And I'm gonna divide into 3 partings. I comb it 1, 2, and elevate. 1, 2, and elevate. One, twice, elevate. At this point, I finished using the razor. I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna put it back where it goes. Now I'm gonna switch to shears. And now I'm gonna start creating layers. So I keep going with my parings. I'm gonna start in the middle because I'm creating layers. My guide is gonna be at the bottom of the finger, right there. And I'm just gonna cut. So I only comb it twice and I cut. So nothing at the bottom is touched because it's already being cut with the razor. That has to drop. My guide is right here and I just cut. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Guide is right there and I cut. Cut. And cut. Can put my clips. This one right here, I can make just one because it's getting narrower. I don't have to do one and one. So I'm gonna start in the middle again. My guide is right there and I cut. I do the same thing on the other side. I cut. And I cut. I'm done with this section. I'm gonna put it all down. And I'm gonna start in the middle. Guide is right there. Cut. Cut. And my last section. I cut. So when you perform the hair cutting, you have to be pretty fast. If you think you're not gonna have enough time to check the haircut, right away you can check the 2 quadrants to make it faster. So even. I'm gonna check the other side. 1 hair. Now I'm gonna move to the sides. I'm gonna place my clip where it was. Be careful with the shears, they cannot be like this. So I have them up. My guide is from the back. Just gonna put them all together. My guide is right there, and I cut. I'm gonna grab the whole thing. Around the hairline, you cannot cut, because otherwise you'll be cutting the length. The length has to drop. Otherwise you will create a hole. So I'm done with this side. Now I'm gonna move to the other side. You can do it either facing her or she can be facing the other way, whichever you prefer. So I pull it back. All this is my guide, so I'm gonna take some of the hair from the back so I can find my guide. See how the length has to drop. So I'm done using the razor and performing the layers. So at this point, probably I have 10 more minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the top, okay? By checking the top, I gotta grab big, chunkier subsections because I'm just checking the haircut. One of the things that they check is the top. So where do I find my guide? At the beginning and the end of my finger, whatever's in the middle, that's gonna be that's what I need to cut if anything is missing. Guide is at the beginning and end of the fingers. What I did in the back, I'm gonna do in the front. I'm gonna part it in the middle and I'm gonna check each quadrant. Remember, at this point, I already did my razor cut and my shear cut. Now I'm just checking the haircut. It's fine. Just a little bit. So I'm gonna check the sides when it comes to the length. They don't really check the back because they know you did it with the razor, so they know that it's not gonna be even. But the size, yes, they will check that it has to be a match. So they're gonna check the sides to see if they're even. She will check this on the top. End to end has to meet. If they don't meet, that means the haircut is not even. The only way they will deduct points is if one end comes like a huge difference. So if she hasn't said step back or time's up, the best thing to do is keep checking the haircut because you don't want points to be deducted. So as I'm going, I'm just checking and rechecking the haircut. I always say there is no point for you to be combing and combing the hair, especially when you start cutting the hair, okay? Because you're just wasting time. I would rather be done than not being done. So at this point, I finished the haircut. I'm gonna place my shears, my comb. If hair gets on the SMA, don't worry, don't clean anything because your area is being contaminated already. So I'm just waiting and I'm gonna step back. What am I waiting for? For the examiner individually is gonna come and say, may I borrow your comb, please? So she comes to me and she asks me for the comb. The first thing I'm gonna do is sanitize my hands and I'm gonna give her the comb. So here she comes and she's gonna check the haircut and then she's gonna tell me at this time, she's gonna give me back my comb. I'm gonna place it in here and she's gonna tell me, sweep your area only. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sweep my area. And when it comes to sweeping your area, you have to sweep your area completely. If they see hair on the floor, they will deduct points because hair makes the floor slippery, and for safety reasons, which is my first objective, I cannot leave any hair. Examiners may walk around and see if you really swept the floor. So I gotta dump this in the big trash can. Because I touched that, I have to sanitize my hands by the trash bag, and I step back and I'm waiting for the next instructions. Okay, so now we finished the haircut. I already swept the floor, and now we'll continue with the next procedure. The next procedure is setup and client protection. That's the number 2. Remember at the beginning we did one, now we'll go with the second one. So the setup is for the new client that we're gonna have, even though you're still gonna be using the same doll head, we're gonna pretend, Stable pretends that you're doing a new client. So the instruction says that I'm gonna have 15 minutes to set up and remove everything that I used in the previous section. As soon as she says you may begin, sanitize the hands. So I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I'm gonna open my items to be disinfected container, and I'm gonna start placing all the items that I used, except the curling iron. Why not the curling iron? I didn't use this Sanex, so it goes in the trash. Even though I didn't use it, I need to close this. And because I touched that, I have to sanitize my hands. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna place everything on the side, because we need to set up for a new client. So this is gonna go in soil linens, which is this drawstring bag. I put it in there. I have to close it, and I'm gonna place it on top of my kit. This moves to the side too, and the first thing I'm gonna do is get a paper towel and disinfect my station. It's like starting all over again. Because again, remember, it's for a new client. So I'm gonna place this on the side. This goes in the trash. I touched the trash bag, so I have to sanitize my hand. And now I'm gonna get a paper towel, and I'm gonna spray the disinfectant on the paper towel, and I'm gonna start disinfecting item by item from my basic SMA. As I disinfect them, I'm gonna be placing them back where they go, one by one. Spray disinfectant. And at Stable, you don't have to worry about your items not to be labeled, because the kit company already does it for you. So I place my hand sanitizer, I get another paper towel, spray disinfectant, Clean my water bottle. Throw it away. At this point, I can move my paper towels right here because my area has been disinfected. I get another paper towel. Even my items to be disinfected container, I have to clean it completely, top and bottom, and I'm gonna place it back where it goes. I throw the paper away. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I still need my first aid kit. Place it right here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and my last item is gonna be the curling iron. I'm gonna grab the curling iron and I'm just gonna clean the tip, the handle without touching the metal. As I clean the cord, I'm gonna be wrapping it between my fingers. Throw it away. The reason we don't clean the metal is because it's still considered hot, and I'm gonna place it on the side. So as I finish cleaning, I'm gonna disinfect my hands, and now I'm gonna start displaying everything that I need for all my chemicals, starting with chemical weighting, and it's already labeled chemical weighting. So I'm gonna use one towel so I can place all my items in here. I need my cotton, my simulated weighting lotion, my combs. As you see, everything comes in a bag. It doesn't mean I'm gonna leave it in the bag. I'm gonna display my end papers, my pair of gloves, and I'll let you know why I have 2 pair of gloves. I'm gonna place them on the side. I have my protective cream. I have my rat tail comb. I have my clips. I always put an extra clip just in case I drop one. I don't waste time looking for another one. The bag goes in the trash. And I'm gonna sanitize my hands. Extra cotton that I have. The perm rods are the purple rods. I cannot leave them in the bag. So I'm gonna empty them, and the bag goes in the trash. So I display everything that I need for my perm, but the instructions also say that I need to set up for all the chemicals. That's why for this procedure we gotta move a little faster. Now I need to do my PD test supplies and the Strand test. This is PD test. I need my Q-tip, and I'm gonna place my 2 pieces of cotton, throw it in the trash. I sanitize my hands. Now I need to display for highlights. I can place the foil together. This is already labeled. It says highlights virgin application. I have my tint brush. This goes in the trash. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I need to display for hair color. And it says hair color application. And I'm gonna place my tint brush also. Bag goes in the trash. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. And the last one is the virgin relaxer. So all the containers are labeled. Bag goes in the trash. And I'm gonna sanitize my hand. So at this point, it says See, I touch my hair. What am I supposed to do? Sanitize my hands. Stable believes that the hand belongs only to the client. Anything else that I touch, I have to sanitize my hands. So I have to redrape her. So I'm gonna get rid of the drape that she had before, because the cape is only for cutting or styling, it's not for chemicals. And since all we're doing is chemicals, all this goes in soil linen bag. I have to close the bag. I'm gonna place it in here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. And I'm missing one towel. One thing you gotta remember, Stable is gonna give you miscellaneous. There is gonna be a bag labeled miscellaneous and another bag with extra towels just in case you need another one. In this case, I need 2 towels. And I'm gonna double drape her. When you do this, don't throw the towel like this. It's about safety. You can poke her eyes. So I place 1. I place the second one, and now I'm gonna drape her. And again, because I drape her, I have to sanitize my hands because the hair is considered dirty. Before I step back, I gotta make sure that the cape is not touching the skin. I'm gonna place the hair clip right here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I check all my area that is in order and is ready for me to start. I step back and I'm waiting for instructions. Okay, so now the examiner is gonna say you're gonna have 20 minutes to perform chemical waving, and she will remind you when you have 10 minutes remaining, you have to roll the perm from crown to nape. Never roll it from nape to crown. It's about following instructions. The instruction says from crown to nape. The moment she says you may begin, first thing I'm gonna do is sanitize my hands, and again, I don't want to detangle the hair because there is no point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the length of the perm rod and I'm going to take it all the way down. Actually, we can do it different. We can go from ear to ear. Makes it much easier. And I'm gonna clip this section. And I'm gonna use the length of the rod. Going all the way down. I can place the roller right here. I always like to tuck in the ends because when the ends dry, it looks really messy. I can grab a paper towel, or you can go back in the bag and get a, because I don't want to wet the floor. The hair is still a little wet from the haircut. So I'm gonna make sure with the paper, I try to saturate the hair so the floor doesn't drip any water. So I'm gonna start performing the perm. And when it comes to stayboard, they don't care if you do double paper, single paper, bookend, whichever technique you want. All they care is that the ends don't come out of the end paper, that you have to extend the paper beyond the hair ends. So at this point, since you did the haircut, you're gonna see how your ends come out from the haircut. If I want it on base, I'm gonna over direct forward, so it will stay on base, 45-degree forward. That's my first one. If you see, it has a strong base. I only comb it once because I don't want to waste time. When I wet the hair, I don't go like this because I don't want to. So I usually put it by the hair and wet it so it doesn't drop on the floor. And I have to leave a space so the ends don't come out, because she's gonna come and check individually how you wrap the hair. I over direct. Comb it once. If you want to use double paper, you can. If you want to use single paper, you can. As long as you use the end papers correctly, that's all that matters. That you extend the ends beyond the hair ends. And also what matters is how you place the rubber band. And remember, always wet the end paper once you're ready to start rolling. So I'm continuing. At this point, more likely she already said 10 minutes. One recommendation I always tell the students, if you have fake nails, you have to get rid of them at least for that day, because the fake nails, they get on the way. It slows you down a lot. So make sure you don't have your fake nails at least for that day. Also, you cannot create fish hooks. They will deduct points if you create fish hooks. They give you a lot more extra end paper, perm rods, just in case you drop perm rods, you have extras. More likely you're gonna be needing between 10 to 12 perm rods to cover from crown to nape. So I have 2 more. One thing you gotta be careful also is with the end papers. At this point we already know the end papers are so thin that if you don't grab them right, they can fall on the floor. Now you have to stop and pick it up the proper way. And my last one. So I'm on my last rod. So I can place my comb where it goes. Do not remove anything from your SMA until she tells you to do so. So I'm gonna check, and I'm gonna check my rubber band. Never put the rubber band on the scalp because it's gonna create marks or breakage. So if you over direct 45, the rubber bands are gonna fall right on top. You don't have to worry about it. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, that's average. So at this point, I'm gonna check my SMA. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and I'm gonna check that the floor it's dry and clean and I don't have trash. And I step back, and now I'm waiting for instructions. Okay, at this point, the examiner is gonna do this part is untimed, meaning she is gonna go one by one. Let's say I'm the first one, she's gonna tell me, please demonstrate saturation in a test curl. So she told me that it is untimed because she's not gonna time you. All I know is that you have to move pretty fast, okay? So the moment she tells me you may begin, first thing is, I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and I'm gonna grab protective cream. When I grab protective cream, you cannot leave the protective cream open. You put it back, and you're gonna apply it around the hairline. Now you're gonna open the cotton bag. The bag goes in the trash. I'm gonna place the cotton around the perm rods. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and now I'm gonna wear gloves. I always try to do here instead of here, just in case I drop it, it doesn't drop on the floor. it will fall right here on my SMA. Now I'm gonna open my cotton bag, and I'm gonna get a little piece of cotton. Always remember to close the bag. And I'm gonna grab my simulated weaving lotion. We know it's water, and you gotta place the cotton all the way to the scalp, and you're gonna go twice. 1, 2. Move to the next one. 1, 2. Do it pretty fast. Some examiners will let you do all of them. Some examiners will let you do like 2 or 3, and she will say, okay, stop. I'm gonna pretend that she's telling me to do all of them. So at this point, the cotton goes in the trash. I'm gonna place this where it goes, and I have to demonstrate a test curl. It doesn't matter which one you grab, so I can start with the first one, and you have to unwind 2.5 times. So I push it down, hold, and I go 1, 2.5. I have to place it back. Now I go with the next one, and this one, don't slide it. You have to unwind it, and when you see the end paper, you gotta hold it for her to see that the ends of the hair are not coming out. So that was a perfect one. At this point, she's gonna say, okay, she's gonna move to the next one. So what do? I remove the end paper, I throw it in the trash. This goes in my items to be disinfected. Because I touched that, I have to sanitize my hands, and I step back while she's going around with every other student. Once she finishes with all the students, she's gonna send you on break. So right now we're gonna go on break. The gloves, you can remove them or you can leave them, and you can use them for the rest of the examination for all the rest of the chemicals. My suggestion would be, and I told you before when I was setting up, that's the purpose of the next gloves, because if I go on break, I can use the restroom, I can drink water, whatever I'm gonna do, so my gloves are gonna be dirty. So at this point, what I would do, I would remove the gloves, and I would throw them in the trash. I didn't touch the trash bag, so I don't have to sanitize my hands, but if you want to, you can sanitize your hands, and at this point, we go on break. Okay, now we're back from the 10-minute break. And because I went on break, more likely when you go on break, you can use the bathroom, you can drink water, take a deep breath because you're gonna be nervous, whatever. You're gonna be wearing the gloves. So that's why I told you before why I have an extra pair of gloves, because at this point, you have two options. Either you just sanitize your hands and you're gonna be using the same pair of gloves for the remaining of all the chemicals, or each procedure comes with a pair of gloves. So what I'm gonna do, just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna remove the gloves. I'm gonna throw them in the trash. I'm gonna wear a new pair of gloves. And the moment she say you may begin, I'm gonna remove the cotton, throw it in the trash, and I'm gonna start removing the perm rods. So my items to be disinfected container is open because I can be dumping the perm rods in there. And I always suggest to start from the bottom to the top because it's easier. You gotta remove the paper, which takes a little bit longer. You cannot put the trash in there. It has to go in the trash bag. So the easiest way is to remove it as you remove the perm rods. To me, it's faster that way. So I finished removing them. I close the container. I have to sanitize my hands. And so I don't waste time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divide the hair into 5 because the instruction says that I have to create 5 sections. Just make sure your partings are nice and neat and clean. Again, you don't need to be detangling the hair. Then when you do the section on the top, make sure that the middle part, I don't know if you can see from there, the middle part cannot be too wide because that's where you're going to be placing the highlights. So I place the comb right there and I'm going to clip this 3 sections. So you have 5 minutes to do this. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. So as you can see, I created 5 sections. Okay? I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna step back. Okay, now the examiner is gonna say you're gonna have 10 minutes to perform PD test and strand test. She will remind you when you have 3 minutes remaining. At the end, she will say you may begin. Again, first thing is, I'm gonna sanitize my hand. I'm gonna get a piece of cotton. Remember, always close the bag. And I'm gonna spray water on the cotton by the trash. And I'm gonna use the back of the ear to clean the area. Throw it in the trash. I'm gonna get another piece of cotton. I'm gonna dry the area. Throw it in the trash. One of the containers from color application, I'm gonna open. I'm gonna get a little Q-tip. I have to close it. And I'm gonna place it in the back. And I'm done with the PD test. Now I'm gonna start the strand test. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a very thin subsection. But before I do this, because now I'm doing a chemical, I have to apply protective cream. I just grab enough one time so I don't keep on dipping on it. And I'm gonna apply it all the way around. Just be careful with your PD test that you don't get rid of it when you apply the protective cream. So I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna start with my strand test. Create a very thin subsection, comb it only once. You're gonna grab the foil. You're gonna place it underneath. Don't apply it on the roots. So once you're done, you can place the brush on top of the color product. You're gonna fold it and fold it again. And you're gonna leave it like this. Now we need to get a paper towel and we need to wet it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open and we're gonna clean, remove the color. This paper is gonna go in the trash. You're gonna grab another paper and finish cleaning the strand. Just to finish cleaning the residues. Remember that the product we're using is not really color, it's just simulated color product. I throw it in the trash, I sanitize my hands, and I step back. Okay, now since I'm done, now she's gonna read the instructions and she's gonna say, now you're gonna be performing highlighting from the hairline towards the apex. So the moment she says you have 15 minutes, you're gonna step back when she indicates that you're done. When she says you may begin, the first thing is, I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and again, I have to grab protective cream. I don't like to be double dipping, so I only go once. If you want to use a spatula, you can if you want to. And now I'm going to reapply protective cream. Don't put too much. I'm going to sanitize my hands. And now I'm going to start from the hairline towards the apex. It doesn't matter if you do weaving, slices, chunks, they don't really care. I'm gonna put it on the side because I need to open my highlights container. And if you notice, all the containers are labeled. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I'm gonna grab my first one. I'm gonna hold the comb. So I'm gonna stand up a little bit so it doesn't go on her eyes. Now I'm gonna create the second one. Just keep putting it up so it doesn't go on her face. Being very careful not to drop the paper on the floor. And I need one more. So before I step back, what I'm gonna check is underneath and see if I haven't caused any bleeding. I'm gonna place the comb in here. I'm gonna close my jar, because remember, I cannot leave a mess. I'm gonna place this one on top. My foil got some product. I'm gonna throw it away. Put it right here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna step back. Okay, once the time has elapsed, the examiner is gonna come and tell you, or she is gonna open one of the foils. So let's say she tells me open one foil, so I can pick whichever I want, and I'm gonna pick the second one. More likely she's gonna tell you to do it, and what she wants to see is the saturation. Two, she wants to see that you didn't place it on the roots. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's not touching the roots and it's fully saturated. So once she opens it, then she's gonna move to the next one and the next one until she's done with all of them. More likely it's gonna take her just a couple of minutes to do that. So at this point, I'm just waiting, right? And now she's gonna continue with with the next procedure, which is color retouch. So now she's gonna say you're gonna have 10 minutes to perform a color retouch. The client doesn't have more than an inch. So when you do the touch-up, you have to do 1 inch. She's gonna say you will be reminded when you have 5 minutes remaining. The moment she says step back to indicate you have finished, you may begin. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and again, I have to apply protective cream. Have to close the container. And I go all the way around. I'm gonna sanitize my hand, and I'm gonna use one of the back sections to do my color retouch. I'm not gonna use the one where the PD test is because I don't wanna get rid of it, so I'm gonna use this side. And the first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna open the color application. And you're gonna outline the quadrant. So I outline the whole quadrant. And I'm gonna start from the back. You don't necessarily have to clip it. So I am done. I'm gonna close my jar, place the brush. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. Gotta make sure everything looks good. Sanitize my hands and I step back. Okay, now that I finished the color retouch, she's gonna read the instructions to everybody. The next section is untimed, meaning the examiner is gonna go individually asking you to perform a virgin relaxer application. You're only gonna do it on one side of the head, and it's only one strand, one subsection. So the moment she says you may begin, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and again I'm gonna apply protective cream. Close the container. So I'm gonna sanitize the hands. Remember I did the strand test right here, so I'm gonna use the other side. And I'm gonna use this section. This quadrant, I should say. So I'm gonna open my relaxer, simulate it, and I'm gonna create one tiny subsection. So when you perform the virgin application, it cannot touch the roots or the ends. So like a half an inch away from the roots, and you go under. Then you place it on your hand. Now you grab more, and now you're gonna apply it on the roots, top, bottom, ends. At this point, she's gonna tell you to perform smoothing. You can use the back of the comb or your fingers, and you do it fast. So you put it on the roots, and you go 1, 2, and that's it. So at this point, I'm gonna grab a paper towel. I'm gonna wipe off my hands. She's gonna move to the next student. So at this point, I'm just gonna close my container, put it in here, Get a paper towel, throw it away. I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna step back. Okay, so now we finish another section, which is all the chemicals. We're done. At this point, the examiner is gonna tell you, she will give you between 10 and 15 minutes to put everything away. The only thing you're gonna end up with is your basic SMA. So you need to get rid of the tripod, you need to put everything away, just your basic SMA and the doll head. So the first thing I would do, everything that you see in here, if it's reusable, we have to open the container, items to be disinfected, and we're gonna start placing everything in here. Make sure the jars are closed completely. Clips. The foils that you didn't use and the end papers that you didn't use, they go in the trash. You sanitize your hands. You close this, sanitize your hands. Towel goes in soiled linens. I close the bag. I have to sanitize my hands. Now we can place the curling iron in here. Sanitize my hands because I touched that, and now I'm gonna get rid of the extra clip. Sanitize my hands, and I gotta remove the foils. Always pulling back so the product doesn't get on the face. I'm gonna throw it in the trash. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and one thing I will suggest you, get 2 paper towels and you're gonna wipe off the product that is on the hair, because you still need to do the facial and we need the doll head, and at the same time clean around the hairline from all the protective cream that we apply. The PD test. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and I'm gonna remove the cape. Cape and towels, you just put them in soiled linens. I close it, put it on top of the kit, and I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I'm gonna place the doll head right here, and now it's time to close the tripod. So my tripod is closed, and I'm gonna put it just on top of my kit. I'm gonna sanitize my hands. Sanitize my hands. I step back, and I'm waiting. Okay, now we move to the next section, which is blood exposure. Blood exposure, you're gonna have 10 minutes to do it. The examiner is gonna read the instructions, and she's gonna say that we're gonna create a little scenario where you cut yourself. You have sustained a minor cut on your index finger, regardless if you're a lefty or a righty. I'm a lefty, so I usually do everything with the left. So you have sustained a minor cut on your index finger, but you can still work with a client. Your area hasn't been contaminated. They give you 10 minutes. The moment she said 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes remaining. Step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. The first thing is, I'm gonna sanitize my hands. I'm gonna open my kit, and I'm gonna look for my blood exposure bag. I close the kit, and I place my blood exposure. I sanitize my hands, and I'm gonna remove the gloves. You're gonna see a pair of gloves. You don't have to wear both. My blood exposure bag has to stay open because all trash is gonna go into the blood exposure. I'm gonna open my first aid kit, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap a paper towel to my index finger because I cut myself. And now I'm gonna get my antiseptic. Trash goes in here. I have to remove this paper and throw it in there, and right away I'm gonna clean it with the antiseptic. I don't wanna let it go yet, so I'm gonna have my Band-Aid. This goes in blood exposure. I don't wanna let go of the antiseptic yet. Now I can let it go, and right away I'm gonna place the Band-Aid. I'm gonna wrap the finger. I'll close this, put it in here. It's optional if you wanna wear both gloves. You don't have to. With one glove is okay. This is my injured finger, and that's why they give you 2 gloves. You don't have to wear both. Just in case you're working and you feel comfortable working with both hands with gloves, that's fine. If only one, only one. So at this point, I'm waiting for her to say, show your hand. She says, show your hand. I'm gonna show my hand, and then she's gonna say, okay, remove it. What I'm gonna do is remove both of the gloves. I'm gonna place it inside the blood exposure bag. I'm gonna remove the Band-Aid. I'm gonna throw it in the blood exposure bag. The bag has to be closed tightly. And now it goes in the trash. Sanitize your hands, and you step back. Okay, now let's move to the next procedure, which is basic facial. Basic facial, you're gonna have 20 minutes to perform it. You're not gonna be doing it on the regular station, you're gonna do it on the mani table, okay? So there's gonna be a mani table, and you're gonna have a stool. So the first thing she says, you may begin. I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and right away I'm gonna grab the disinfectant, a paper towel. I'm gonna move my table. Place it on your SMA. Disinfect the table. I'm gonna move the trash bag, and I'm gonna put it next to me. I'm gonna move the hand sanitizer, and I'm gonna sanitize my hands because I was cleaning. And right away, I'm gonna go into my kit, and I'm gonna get the supplies that I need for the basic facial. So what do I need? First, I'm gonna I'm gonna place the towel, and I need to place all my supplies that I need. So I have my cleansing cream, my astringent, my exfoliating cream, my massage cream, and my moisturizer. I have my sponge. But one thing we need to place is paper towels. They're gonna give you paper towels, so you can place it on top of your SMA. Since it's the face, it's more delicate. So everything that comes in contact with the skin especially on the face, makes it more delicate. I have my shower cap. And for this, she's gonna give you 2 minutes to set up. Bag goes in the trash. I'm gonna do my face mittens. I have my wet towel. And I have my container, basic facial. If you don't finish setting up in 2 minutes because you have to dispose of everything, don't worry, you can continue after. So now I'm gonna place the shower cap on her. That's why it's important to remove the product before when you perform the chemicals. So I'm gonna place it in here. I'm gonna sanitize my hand, and now I'm waiting. What am I waiting for? For her to tell me that I have 20 minutes to perform the facial. And when I'm done, to step back, to indicate I am done. So now she's gonna say, you have 20 minutes to perform your basic facial. You will be reminded when you have 10 minutes remaining, step back to indicate you have finished. You may begin. First thing is, I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and I'm gonna move my stool. Because I touched the stool, I'm gonna have to sanitize my hands. And right away, I'm gonna start, I touch my hair, I have to sanitize my hands again. And I'm gonna start with the cleansing cream. You cannot double dip. So when I do this, I just can't get enough. One time, just for the eyebrows. I put it on my hand, I throw the spatula away, and I have to close the cleansing cream. From here, I'm gonna put it on one eyebrow and then the other eyebrow. Now I'm gonna get a face mitten. So make sure you fold it because it cannot go like this. I'm touching the eyes. So make sure you wipe it off on both sides. If you want to do one eyebrow first and then the other eyebrow, that's fine too. So I throw it away. Now I'm gonna get more cleansing cream, and I'm gonna do the lips, just a little bit. You throw it away, you close it, and when you apply it on the lips, it goes out and in. So you go out and in, out and in, out and in, out and in. You do it like 3 times. Now that you remove the lipstick, it's time to remove the whole thing. And you remove it the same way. Don't scrub. So you remove the lipstick. Now I got more cleansing cream, another spatula, and now is for the rest of the face. Throw it away, close it. Remember, your SMA always has to look the same as the way you started. And you put different dots, because now you gotta remove the whole makeup. And I try to use these 2 fingers, not this, because this is what helps me grab everything. So this have to be clean. So I use the and the ring finger. One hand has to be here because you gotta remove the makeup. You're not massaging, you're just removing the makeup. The foundation, the blush, eyeshadows. Now, if you want, you can have 2 mittens or 1. If you want to do it at the same time, that's fine. So here I go. In here you go up. On the cheek area, you go up. You don't pull down. You go up. And around the eyes, you go the opposite way. Don't put too much lotion because it's gonna look too shiny. So I'm done removing it. I throw it away. And I'm gonna apply a astringent. Don't dip, just do it by the trash. You place it in here. And you dab the skin. So I place the astringent, I throw it away. Now that I'm done with this, I'm gonna get the exfoliating cream. And for that, I'm gonna use a sponge. You cannot double dip and go, just grab it once. Just grab enough. Close it. Put it back where it goes. You throw it away. Now what I'm gonna do is grab my scrubbing brush. Your hand has to stay here. And you start scrubbing the face. So remember, to do this procedure, you only have 20 minutes. You gotta be gentle. You're scrubbing the dead cells. The moment you're done, the brush goes right here. And now you're gonna sanitize your hands. You're gonna move to the side and you're gonna sanitize all the way to your elbows. Why? Because you're gonna get the wet towel. Bag goes in the trash. Towel is already wet. And you're gonna test the temperature. You do 1, 2, 1, 2, and you gotta create the triangle. Okay? Triangle means she still can breathe. I'm gonna try to put it like this so you can see. And you're gonna start removing the exfoliating product. Now you're gonna open and you're gonna slide it and place it back. And you're gonna do the same thing. Now you do the other half. Now that you're done, don't lift the towel, you just fold it once, twice, and you slide it back. Now you're gonna go to your soil linen bag. You're gonna place it in here. You're gonna close the bag. Because I touched that bag, I have to sanitize my hands. And now you're gonna get either the mittens or cotton, and you're gonna finish removing any leftover exfoliating cream. Even if there is anything in it, you still have to do it because we're pretending. So we're gonna throw this away. I'm gonna sanitize my hands because I touched the trash bag. And now I'm gonna continue with the massage cream. This is one of the most important that you cannot put too much. Otherwise it will look too shiny. I have to close it. When you grab it from here, you cannot have any product on the hand. That's why it's important not to put a lot. And I'm gonna start with the effleurage. I have to spread the product first. So you have to demonstrate the effleurage, the Predisposition, and the tapotement. Be careful with the eyes that it doesn't get any massage cream. If you let go both of the hands, she will deduct points because you're breaking contact. As long as you have one hand at a time, that should be fine. So make sure you don't break contact. So I'm ready to start the massage and I have to know how to break contact. So normally I will slow down little by little. Then I let go one hand and then the other. So once I'm done, I'm gonna get one of the face wipes. I'm gonna wipe off my hands first. I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna start removing the makeup. The massage cream. So I'm gonna place my hand right here and I wipe off going up. I'm gonna throw it away. Now I'm gonna get another piece of cotton and I'm gonna apply one more time astringent. Always do it by the trash. That way if any product will fall inside the trash. I'm gonna close the astringent container and I'm gonna dab. I'm gonna throw it away, and the last step would be the moisturizer cream. So I'm gonna grab just a little bit, throw it away, close it, and I'm gonna distribute it around the face. So at this point I'm done. I'm gonna grab one of the face mittens. I'm gonna clean my hands. I'm gonna push the stool back here. I'm gonna sanitize my hands and I'm gonna step back. Okay, now that we finished the facial, we go to the last step, and it's the last procedure, I should say, and it's the sculpture nail with extension. For that, we're gonna be using the mani table, of course, and they're gonna give you 5 to 10 minutes to set up. So we have to remove everything that we have in here and put it where it belongs. And then clean the mani table and place the items that we need For the sculpture nail, the moment she said you may begin, I sanitize my hands. I'm gonna open my items to be disinfected container, and I'm gonna be placing all my facial items in here. My brush. Any unused spatulas goes in the trash. I'm just gonna leave my hand sanitizer. Any leftover wipes, I'm gonna place them in the trash. This goes in the trash. Doll hair, you can just place it on one side of your station. Towel goes in soiled linens. Paper towels goes in the trash. Towel goes in here. Close it. Sanitize my hands. This, I'm gonna open the kit and I'm gonna put it in there. Close it. And I'm gonna sanitize the hands. Now I'm gonna get my disinfectant, but before I do that, I need to close this. Remember, this cannot stay open. I'm gonna sanitize my hands again because I had to close it. Disinfectant. Throw it away. I'm gonna disinfect my hands and I'm gonna go to my kit and I'm gonna get my sculpture nail supplies. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place a towel. On top of the towel, I'm gonna place one paper towel and I'm gonna start displaying my items that I need. My cuticle oil. This is the hand that you're gonna get at Stable. We're not gonna use this one today. I have my nail dehydrator, my odorless polymer. I have my alcohol, my odorless monomer, my buffers, my 2 dampened dishes, finger, primer, orange wood stick, acrylic brush, different brushes, my nail forms, my abrasive boards. In this container, I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna open the kit and I'm gonna place it inside the kit. I close it. I sanitize my hands and I step back. Okay, let's move into the last section of the examination, a sculptural nail with nail extension. You will have 20 minutes to perform your nail. You will be reminded when you have 10 minutes remaining. At the end, she will say step back to indicate you have finished. The moment she says you may begin, sanitize your hands. You get the little stool. Because I touched the stool, I have to sanitize my hand, and I'm gonna put the finger closer so you can see. Remember, the hand already comes with the nail tip. So this is what we're gonna be using. And the first thing we're gonna do is, I'm gonna sanitize my hand. I have to sanitize the whole hand. I have to sanitize the assigned finger. In this case, is the index finger. Remember, Stable, that day you will find out which finger you're gonna be assigned. You don't know before until you get to Stable. In my case, she gave me the index finger. So I'm sanitizing the index finger. And now I'm gonna remove with the buffer, I'm gonna remove the shine. Buffer goes in the trash. I have to remove the dust. I'm gonna get a piece of cotton and I'm gonna apply cleanser, which is dehydrator. And you just pour it by the trash and you just put a little bit. close it. Throw it in the trash. Now you're gonna prepare your monomer and polymer, which I have them right here. And they're odorless. Sanitize my hand. I touched my hair. And now I'm gonna get the nail form. Remember, the hand already comes with the nail tip. So I'm gonna throw this paper in the trash. I didn't touch the trash bag, so I'm gonna place the nail form. You have orange wood stick just in case it gets around the nail wall or the side walls. You can clean it in there. So before I start, I'm gonna apply nail primer. When you apply the nail primer, you gotta be careful just to put slightly a little bit. And there you go. I close it, and now I'm ready to start the application of monomer, odorless monomer and polymer. And I'm gonna start building the nail. I'll move to section 2 and then move to section 3, which I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Wipe it off. That's my first bead. Now I'm gonna move to the second one. Gotta go to the apex, to the cuticle area. That was my second bead. I'm gonna create one more. So I'm making sure that I don't have any lumps. If at the moment that you're doing the nails you see that there is lumps, you gotta dip it into the monomer and just wipe it off. I don't have any lumps, so I'm just checking my nail. It seems like it looks pretty good. And it's done. So I'm gonna place the brush right here. I'm gonna throw the paper away. And we gotta remember that when we use odorless product, the only way we can get rid of the tacky layer, also known as the inhibition layer, is if we use either dehydrator, alcohol, or acetone. So I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds. It looks pretty good. That's the difference between odorless and the regular one. That the regular one you have to wait until it dries. Odorless, the only way you can set the nail or cure the nail is if I grab a piece of cotton. I have to close the bag. And I'm gonna use either dehydrator or I also have alcohol. So I'm gonna use dehydrator. And I'm gonna pour it by the trash. Always remember to close the containers. And I'm gonna wipe it off. So I throw the cotton away, and now I can remove the nail form. This goes in the trash. I'm gonna sanitize my hand. And if you're not sure if it's dry, you can always try and put more dehydrator, or you can put more alcohol, whichever you want. So I'm gonna try alcohol. It's already dry, but I just want to make sure. I throw it away. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the abrasive board. Remember, the abrasive board replaces the drill. So I'm gonna start on the sides. So at this point I'm done. I'm gonna throw this away. I can sanitize my hands if I want to. I'm gonna get the oil. I'm gonna get a piece of cotton. I'm gonna pour it by the trash. Close it. Throw this away, and I'm gonna use the buffer. As soon as I'm done, I throw the buffer away. I look at it, there is no buildup, there is no lumps, and now I can turn the hand toward the examiner. Before I do that, I'm gonna close the containers that I have, organize my SMA, turn the hand towards the examiner, and I'm ready to show her what it looks like. So that's the way the extension is supposed to look like. So at this point, you turn the hand and you step back and you wait for instructions. Okay, so at this point we finished the practical examination. She's gonna tell you, she's not gonna time you at this time. She's just gonna say, put everything away, go return the kit. Once you come back from returning the kit, you can go into the other classroom and take the written test. The written test contains 110 questions plus some Constitution questions. You're gonna say, why Constitution? Because the computer, the written test is all computerized, okay? A, B, C, D, there is no fill in the blank, there is no true and false, it's just A, B, C, D. So it's color coded, like it has a green, red, yellow, and blue button keyboards, and like if you want to change the answer, you know which one to change. For example, if they ask me who was the first president of the United States, and I said, oh, it was Donald Trump, and then later on I said, wait, it wasn't Donald Trump. I need to know which color it is to change the answer. So when you're ready to take the test, it's going to tell you on the bottom, are you ready to start with the test? You can click and then you can start, okay? So at this point, I'm just gonna get rid of everything, okay?